Chelsea leading the race for Achraf Hakimi once again. Oh, I'm tired, Robbie. I'm tired. Twists and turns every 24 hours. When is it going to end? Hello guys, how you all doing? Welcome to another video of mine. It's Kemal AA, and this is another Chelsea transfer news daily video for you guys, where I keep you guys up to date with all the latest Chelsea transfer news in the past 24 hours and some more twists and turns in the Achraf Hakimi saga. We'll be delving straight into Achraf Hakimi, Adama Traore, who is a plan B to Achraf Hakimi, news reports in regards to Adama Traore once again, and finally we'll be speaking about Kante potentially signing a brand new extension at Chelsea to continue his stay, of course, cement his legendary status. But before I do get into all of it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But without further ado, let's get straight into this news daily, and starting off with the Achraf Hakimi saga, because there is yet again more twists and turns. When is it going to end, Robbie? I'm tired, Robbie. Every time now, every 24 hours. 48 hours ago, Hakimi seemed to be a done deal, looming to becoming a done deal. 24 hours ago, PSG leading the race, Hakimi destined to go to Paris with his family. And now we're sitting here on a Sunday evening, and once again, Hakimi looks like he will be heading to Chelsea. What is going on? What is going on? Now let's delve straight into it. Let's not waste any more time in the saga of Hakimi. Sky Italia, very reliable publication outlet. Tier 1, if I may say so myself, in terms of credibility and reliability. They've stated Inter Milan are trying to agree terms with Marcos Alonso. If they can, then Hakimi to Chelsea can go ahead. They then further said that Achraf Hakimi is very tempted by Paris Saint-Germain's offer to him, but both clubs appealed to him. However, Chelsea have offered interesting players to Inter. This is a tier 1 source, it's Sky Italia. We'll then be looking at other news outlets. CFC News page, a very reliable, credible Instagram page who has sources and connections within Chelsea. They've stated that PSG have stepped up their pursuit for Achraf Hakimi in the past 48 hours and have even made an official bid. With no players involved in the offer, Chelsea are also in talks over a potential transfer, but they haven't yet made a bid. Sky Sports have stated that Inter are now trying to agree personal terms with Alonso, as that will help them with making sure the sale is completed before the June the 30th deadline. That is when Inter needs to have raised at least 70 million euros from player sales. Again, I've stressed this in the past 2 videos. Inter Milan needs to sell Hakimi before the 30th of June. Sky Sports will just confirm this, but I've been telling you guys this for the past 2 days. And again, I've given you guys the reasons. It's the accounting and finance reasons. That is the end of the tax year. 30th of June is the end of the financial year, the end of the tax year. That's when you need to be getting all the revenue, all the sales in to balance the books for accounting reasons. So, of course, they want to get Hakimi done. As I recorded this video on the 20th of June, we're 10 days away from that deadline. And, of course, Inter Milan want that bidding war between Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea, and they want to get the sale done so they can raise in the revenue and the cash to essentially show and prove the profits, of course, which is going to help Inter Milan financially, of course. But in terms of the news, in terms of Hakimi, where is this guy going? Because this saga seems to be continuing. As I've stressed, Inter Milan needs to sell by the 30th of June, meaning this saga is going to come to an end soon. Latest by 10 days' time, Hakimi will have, of course, picked a club, and Hakimi will be either at Paris Saint-Germain or Chelsea. One thing is for certain is both clubs desperately want Hakimi. That is for a fact. Otherwise, there is no way both clubs would be pursuing him to this extent in terms of aggressiveness, in terms of brutality. Both clubs are destined and really want to get Achraf Hakimi. Both are putting in, mammoth bids here. We're talking 70 to 80 million euros here. So Paris Saint-Germain really want him. Chelsea really want him, especially Thomas Tuchel, who's the major driving force behind it still. So very understandable as to why Chelsea are desperate for Achraf Hakimi. Now, in terms of, the possibility of Hakimi playing for Chelsea, I've always maintained for the past few weeks and days that I'm still very optimistic about this deal. I've always maintained the fact that I still believe Achraf Hakimi will actually become a Chelsea player because of what I've heard, but also from these reports. Let's break it down logically, and I'll give you guys a different perspective here. The ones that have been linking Hakimi to Chelsea heavily have been these Italian publications, your Gianluca Di Marzio, your Sky Italias, all these other Italian, Gazzetta dello Sport, all these Italian, outlets and publications. They've been saying Chelsea have always been leading the race. Chelsea have offered players in. Inter Milan want the likes of Zappacosta, the Marcos Alonso, Emersons. They're really enticed by Chelsea's offer, and Chelsea have always been leading the race. The ones that have said that PSG leading the race have always been the French publications, and you need to take that with a pinch of salt. Why? Because French publications, like your journalists, like your Mohamed Boufazis, who writes for the RMC Sport, all these French outlets, they're going to be biased naturally because they're connected to Paris Saint-Germain, which is of course a French club. So they're naturally going to be biased. Italian publications have no allegiances with Chelsea. There is no reason why they'd be lying. There's going to be zero bias involved. It's going to be from a pure neutral perspective because they're going to be having their allegiances directly with Inter Milan. You know, your Fabrizio Romano, your Gianluca Di Marzio, etc., which are tier 1 reliable journalists. They're not going to be waffling and they're not going to be biased whatsoever. They don't care which club Hakimi end up at. They want to know the facts. They want to know which club Hakimi will be going to, not what club they would want Hakimi to go to, if that makes sense. So that's why you always have to take it with a pinch of salt. English reporters and publications haven't really been involved in this. This has really been between the French and the Italians. And as I've always said, of course, there is a possibility Hakimi will end up at Paris Saint-Germain. There's been rumours and reports that Hakimi's wife really wants to go to Paris and his family. I've mentioned this before, Morocco. They're all Moroccan. Of course, Morocco is a French-speaking country, so it's easy to settle down in Paris for his family. His wife as well is involved in the fashion industry. She's an actress, of course, French-speaking as well, and Paris is a lot more well-known in terms of fashion and acting compared to London. London is more of the Western financial world, and London has its own niche and its own attraction. But Paris is where his wife wants to go to, and his family are desperate to go to. Hakimi doesn't mind. That's what it sounds like to me here. Hakimi loves both clubs. And if anything, from what I've engaged in, what I've gouged from this is, Hakimi would rather play for Chelsea, but it's more of his family that are pressuring and pushing him to go to PSG. The other problem Chelsea might have is PSG are going to be offering a massive financial package. So we don't know what type of package Chelsea will be offering. We've been hearing rumours in PSG of about £300,000 a week, which is, as I've always maintained, extortionate and astronomical, wage demands for a right wing back. Yes, he's world class. Yes, he's young. But that's crazy, £300,000 a week, that essentially will break our wage structure. So let's see, these are on the rumours, but I've always maintained the fact that I'm relatively optimistic that Hakimi will become a Chelsea player. I still believe that Hakimi will choose Chelsea. We've given a more interesting, more attractive proposition to Inter Milan because, of course, we're including a player that Inter Milan admire very much in Marcos Alonso. We're giving him a lot of cash as well on top of that. And, of course, Inter Milan have their own pressures and deadlines. And I think that, yes, there's a possibility Hakimi will go to Paris Saint-Germain, but I still believe Hakimi will end up at Chelsea. So, as I said, I'll be updating you guys constantly. You'll be getting a daily update on the situation until Hakimi deal is done, whether that's in PSG or Chelsea. So, stay glued to it. Hit that bell notification. Hit that subscribe button as well, and comment down below your thoughts, opinions. Do you even want Hakimi? Would you rather Hakimi at PSG or Chelsea? Leave me your thoughts, opinions. But moving on to Plan B. This is where it gets interesting because now we'll be reporting. What if hypothetically Hakimi ends up at PSG? What next for Chelsea? Because it seems like we're adamant that we need a right-sided player. That's what Tuchel wants. If Tuchel is really pushing for Traore and Hakimi, there's a specific reason for this. So let's say hypothetically Hakimi decides to sign for Paris Saint-Germain. What's going to happen? We're not just going to not sign anyone there, of course. Now, this is where Adama Traore comes in. Now, Italian publication Gazzetta dello Sport and various English publications have already stated Chelsea could turn to Adama Traore if Achraf Hakimi chooses to move to Paris Saint-Germain. Now, of course, it's interesting news. Matt Law wrote an article on this. He wrote a piece on this a couple of weeks ago that Chelsea maintain an interest in securing Adama Traore services. Rumoured valuation will be between 40 to 50 million pounds. There's been rumours and reports that Leeds United are interested in signing Adama Traore. Of course, he's got some strong attributes. He's fast, he's physical, he's powerful. We know his strengths in the Premier League, of course. Right wing back role, I'm sure that it could suit him relatively well. The main thing with Adama Traore is it screams, a Drinkwater, Zabacosta type level signing where you're signing squad fillers. You're blocking the youth like a Livramento, etc. Where if you sign world-class players like Hakimi, that's fine. Because you only want to be dipping into the market to sign world-class players. It can automatically elevate your starting 11. But there's no point signing squad fillers because you can rely on your academy. That's the business model. That's the model that Chelsea should be striving for, which is the model that we've been approaching. Utilise your youth and your academy to essentially be the squad fillers and, of course, elevate and push into the first team, your Reece James, your Mason Mounts, your Callums, your Christensen's, etc. And then to find the positions where the youth academy can't fill, you go out and you sign your world-class players to elevate that team in the first team, which is what we've been doing in the past 18 months. Now, that's the model we should be continuing to do, but if you sign Traore, in my personal opinion, you'll define that completely, because Traore is not world-class. His end product is trash, and that is me being honest here. His end product is trash, and he's essentially a squad filler, and that will be blocking the youth path, because Livramento is, in my opinion, would suit that role a lot better compared to Adama Traore, which, by the way, will cost around 40 to 50 million pounds, which you can use that to sign Erling Haaland. So for me, the Adama Traore news, no, not for me. I wouldn't want him at Chelsea whatsoever. I don't think he fits Chelsea. I think it would be a complete waste of money. Yes, he's got some strong physicalities and attributes, but for me, it's a case of you sign Hakimi or you don't bother. Yeah, you sign Hakimi or you just use Livramento. It's as simple as that. There's no point wasting money on these squad fillers, which you've made that mistake in the summer of 2017, and we still have players like a Bakayoko, Drinkwater, Zappacosta, who are still on our books, by the way, who are still on our books because we can't get a fee for them. And they're still on our loan army. We've been loaning them to every single club around Europe because we simply can't sell them. So we've been in the same position with Traore. So for me, it's Hakimi or bust. It's as simple as that. But listen, what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. And finally, N'Golo Kante. Let's speak about him because according to Fabrizio Romano, Don Romano, Chelsea will offer N'Golo Kante a new contract and are planning to open negotiations soon. There is no rush as they have a great relationship with the player who wanted to stay last summer after the Blues received 2 bids for the Frenchman. That is the latest reports. Of course, Kante, he's our highest earner at the club, earning £290,000 a week. One of our best players, a world-class central midfielder. Again, he had a fantastic end to season, Ballon d'Or contender. Let's see where that ends up. But again, I'm confident. All parties are confident N'Golo Kante will be extending his current contract. Of course, will be maintaining and staying as one of our highest paid earners. And let's see what happens. But what do you guys think of this news? Leave me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But that is me wrapping up the news daily. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see all of you guys for my next video. Peace.